So yeah, because we're naturally like a quieter little, whatever you want to call it, fan base anyway,
We're a
so
volatile fan base, man. These players, every player's getting it. Everybody wanted Gyokeres, and I promise you, people will get onto Gyokeres. Everyone wanted Gyokeres.
keeping it to
Now
the end.
Gyokeres, yeah, now Gyokeres is stinking up the gaff. He's rubbish. Man, are onto Saka for not squaring him the ball. Everybody loves Gabriel Jesus now, and he's done more this season than Gyokeres. And
Yeah.
Odegaard, they're on him. Eze, they're changing their thoughts. The players that aren't involved, are the messiahs. It's just one of those things, man. You can't listen to Saka's not on nothing. You can't listen to football fans. 1 minute you're a hero, then you're shit. They love you
Yeah.
when they win. They hate you when you lose. It all depends, who the culprits are at. I personally think everything's Gyokeres' fault this week, if I'm honest. Not that he shouldn't get criticism, but you'd think he's the only person that played. What do you make of this? How do you rate what Hincapie's done stepping in? I'll give it a 6 out of 10.
I'd probably give him a little bit more just because I feel like
I'd love to, but I can't.
I think that
Because of the sample says.
he hasn't really gotten the same like kind of, okay, I'm gonna play next to Saliba for a couple games, or I'm gonna play next to Gabriel like other players have. He's pretty much been thrown into a baptism of fire
100%.
in some of our more difficult games next to center backs and non-center backs and weirdness. So when I watch him individually defend, for most parts, I thought he's done very well. I think he's had some shaky moments, like you could maybe blame him for the Wolves goal because, the guy got in front of
Villa
him.
as well.
But ultimately, I think when I consider the fact that Gabriel is probably the best center back in the world, I think he's done. I mean, those are tough shoes to stand in. I think he's done okay. I give him a 6.5, 7.
I'd love to. Like the Wolves game's a weird one because I think he done well. Villa, I think he done well, but it's just those margins where you're playing everyone on side. Now, granted, he's not
I hear
alone.
that.
He's a part of a disjointed back five. I do feel, because one thing I rated about him at Leverkusen is you wouldn't think he's 23 in it. I think now I can see someone who's experienced. That's good. Obviously, I know you're not Magalhaes, and I try my best not to judge you under that kind of lens in it. But you look like a 23-year-old. You remind me, you're very different, but you remind me of Gabriel, where just little minor polishing stuff. At this moment in time, I prefer him at left back, if I'm honest. He's centre half.
He's also coming from a system where they play with 3 at the back.
Yeah,
and
yeah. All of that stuff.
There's a
So
lot of
all
different things. There's also the, I just feel like, I don't know. I get it that he's made some mistakes, but, he's just so new to what we're doing and just kind of got like thrown in. I want to see, like you said, what he does at left back. I think that would be a more natural. Actually, I would probably prefer him at left back and Calafiori stepping in at left center back. And I don't know why we don't do it that way. But Arteta has his reasons.
He's gonna have to make it work, man. Did you guys see Rice fuming after Wolves scored our last goal? Need that mentality to spread to the rest of the team. Thoughts? I like that because I think I think in sport, yeah, especially with Arsenal, there's too much kumbaya business. Granted, I want everybody to get on. I want everyone to be friends and stuff like that. But we got to remember the collective. Nobody's ego is above the club. I want man to fight and do all of these things because it wasn't too long ago. People were question marking if we care. I want to see that. And you know what? There's probably men that were going mad in that dressing room we'll never hear about. Hopefully Odegaard. But where do you stand on that?
I mean, rightfully so. I think the one person that I felt like has played well consistently since we've come back from that last international break and we've played Spurs and Chelsea and Bayern and all the way through has been Declan Rice. And am I cringing every game watching him going from box to box trying to push this team while they're just all like lollygagging around and passing slow? Yeah. But Declan has the type of mentality of I don't know what to call it, but like
warrior, Spartan.
Yeah, like a normal, like a I don't know. It's like
he's a talisman, but not in the talisman way.
Yeah.
Like when you say talisman in football, like that would be like, I don't know, Ronaldinho, Lionel Messi, all of that. But that's a talisman. Like, this is why I think, obviously, we need to rotate and things, yeah. But this is why I keep saying, yeah, if your name is not Timber, Gabriel Magalhaes, William Saliba, Declan Rice, Saka, You're
Yeah.
not one of them guys like that. Like me and you love Odegaard, and I don't want no one to scapegoat him. But you're not one of them guys. Eze, you're not one of them guys. Trossard, you're not one of them guys. It's like couple man are in the bracket below, like Marino, Kai Havertz. You lot are not generals. You lot are like our trusted lieutenants. We need more. And everybody just step up in their own way, you know. Like I'm not gonna demand the same things from Madueke as I would Saka, for example. It's like we need everyone to just I don't
I
want to be
need
that guy, just but like man up a bit in it. And that goes for
yeah.
the fans as well. Don't get it twisted, because you can't demand things from the players that you're not prepared to do in your own life.
And I know we're gonna like ease into this conversation, but
We promise,
I
folks.
I think there needs to be a little bit of like a when Saka is pushing this team and leading us forward, it's in a way that's not similar to like Holland or Salah. And the reason why I say that is because he can have a really good game, and a lot of it is crosses and getting into the box, beating his
It's
man.
robotic in the final
But
third from us.
but it's rare that you see him, I think, come out with like a goal out of nowhere in the way that we need it when we're struggling. And that's where not having another high quality attacker of his ilk that does something different, scoring goals, is hurting us.
So that's where this question came in as well. It kind of piggybacks off that, which you half answered. For any team that wins the league, there's always an attacker on form. I look at City there, Foden and Haaland. Who's our attacker in form? Who needs to step up the most? Well, Trossard's the only one I can't have smoke for, and showed me on a consistent basis.
Mhm.
Everybody needs to step up, man, because yeah, they need to. But if you're asking me who needs to step up the most, I might have to say the man I'm pinning all my hopes on, because it is Saka and inshallah. We ain't got players that are inevitable, but you're the closest thing we have to inevitability. So I'm placing that at you. Obviously, Gyokeres, Odegaard, Eze, Martinelli, all of you lot. I need more from you lot. But where are you at with that?
Well, people were saying I was being negative maybe like 2 months ago, where I said if we're going to win the league, we need one, if not two attackers to be on a hot streak. And people are,
Exactly.
oh, we have the most goals. We're
But they've
scoring
been
goals.
saying
We're
that for
sharing the
fucking like
goals.
2 years ago. Look
Yeah.
at the data. Stop lying to me. Sorry. Just
Yeah.
go on.
No,
That's
but
what
it's
frustrates me.
true, because people, it's like gaslighting. It's like
Exactly.
gaslighting you. Like, we have watched the Premier League for years. Most of us have been watching the Premier League for damn near our whole entire
lost
lives.
2 games, and all these
Yeah,
teams are in
there's
form.
never been a team that's won the league that doesn't have at least two attackers that are fucking killing it. Even Leicester, they had Vardy and Mahrez.
And Big
need
Kante, and they
that.
had Wes Morgan and them man there standing firm
Yeah,
consistently.
you need that. And right now, like, Saka cannot be your only and best attacker. I'm saying it. I can't
You can't live or
hold it
die
back
by him.
anymore, because as good as he is, he's not the type of player that is just going to pop up with a random amazing goal out of nowhere to carry you. He's not going to do what Salah did for Liverpool last season. He's not going to do anything near what Haaland is doing. And we bought a striker to do what Haaland is doing, and he's not doing it. And where there's no surprise that we're looking around and City are 8 goals ahead of us right now. They are 8 goals ahead of us, and we're level with Man United with goals. That's not to say that we're terrible, but do the math. Do the math. You know, we need to score more goals. You're not scoring enough against Wolves. You're not beating anybody down. You're not scoring enough in the first half. I want to see the data on that, because I think our performances in the first half, going into halftime 0-0 and then having to scrape it at the end. If you just blam that 2-0 in the first 20 minutes once, you can rotate and relax. That's why you're always tight and nervous, is because in the second half, you got to do all the work you should have done in the first, but you don't score enough goals.
Don't make it hard. Don't make it harder than it needs to be.
Yeah, we don't score enough goals easily and frequently, in my opinion, to win the league right now. So somebody needs to get on a hot streak. And unfortunately, the players that we're hoping for to come back and to save us will probably make us better chemistry-wise, but aren't known for scoring lots of goals anyway.
In those differences, yeah. So the Kais, an informed Odegaard, the guys that have been central pieces. I look at it twofold. I think you're right. I think everything you said is fact. I think everyone in the comments can see that. You know, you want players going through a purple patch. Whether Saka can be that Salah for us, or we bring in the next man, or other players step up. But I look at it twofold. The Sakas and them kind of man, I'm looking at you to do it for the majority of the season. But I recognize that over a 38 game period, there might be 5 games where we need somebody else. Like there might be a man in this squad that only scores 5 goals. But those 5 goals could have been the most important across a calendar year. It could have, we're about to lose 1-0, you grab us a point. It's 1-1, you grab us a goal. I've seen Jesus do that. I've seen Zinchenko do that. When you said what you said, I've seen City do that. Salah carried Liverpool last season, but there was also times the next man might pop in with a goal and just get them out of jail. When we were invincibles, we had that. When we won the league at Old Trafford, we had that. So that is something. What do you make of this? Completely off topic. I don't know why this Aaron brother is saying I am negative. I suggest going and looking at some PR bullshit. But because we haven't said anything negative. Yeah, the question: do you think it's dangerous to throw the last 2 games in the champs away? Losing can trigger a negative cluster. Got Inter away and I think Paphos.
What I'll say is when I feel like we're so binary about everything and everything is so black and white. We don't need to throw the game in order to rest a couple of players. We don't, so when I'm talking about like we can go a little bit less hard in the Champions League and give ourselves a better platform for the Premier League without throwing it. Because otherwise, if you feel like rotating means throwing it, then you don't rate our players.
You don't rate the squad. You've been waffling.
You don't rate the squad at all. And I'm not saying you don't. I'm just saying like we don't need to throw it per se, but players that we know we're going to need in this really difficult period from like December to January, and we need to give them a rest or something. You need to do it in those games, and you need to trust that the players that you brought in, these Premier League, European, international players, can beat these teams in the Champions League for us. And if they're not doing their job.
I understand not rotating against Inter Milan, even though we're through and things like that. I understand that one. I understand that. Paphos, as Boy has said in the comments, Chef, we can't rotate against Karat or Paphos or whoever the fuck it is, yeah. There's some issues there, isn't it? There's the only reason I could accept anything close to not rotating is if we have this same outlook we have now, in that it's all fun and games, Jess, and me saying rotate, but then you look at the squad, this one's in the medical room, that one's there, this one's had a setback. That's the only thing that can cripple us. This is a good question. Do you think Arteta's defensive style of play undermined us winning games like Liverpool, City, Chelsea, Villa? I would say yes to City. In City, because the first half I'm not happy with. I would say yes to Chelsea as well at Stamford Bridge. I would say yes to the second half against Liverpool. So it's more game management. Villa, I won't quite say that. I think it was just a shit show from the gaffer, from the players. He probably tried to be a bit too smart and too football-y in a game that's a basketball match, a typical early Premier League game. But where do you stand on that, Jess?
Yes. I mean, Liverpool to me was almost disgraceful in the way that
people will hide behind the great free kick, just like, which is true.
We didn't have a go. We didn't have a go. The amount of big games that go by where I struggle to even sense a time where we even created an opportunity is emblematic of the way that we don't throw men forward. We don't attack with
never pace. Quite die on our sword, didn't it?
Yeah, we're so like, get back. Even against Wolves, there was times where I saw Arteta like telling everyone, get back in their shape. It's Wolves, for fuck's sake. Press him, take the ball off of him and go down the gut. Like, what are you saying? So, and I'm not a coach, but I do feel like in those types of games, you need to take a little bit of risk. And the risks aren't paying off as much because in this season, we've been a little bit more poor against the top 6 teams. We've lost games and dropped
a bit sometimes, man.
Yeah, we're not getting that stinky 1-0 win that we did against Man City last season at home. We're not getting those. So now it's the margins. The margins are not falling in our favor. And now we're looking back at those games like, was it a good performance that was just, undone by a good free kick? Or did we hide the whole game? Should you have started Eze from the beginning? Yes, probably.
Exactly. And how many clear-cut chances? Like, obviously, you just said Eze. I remember the Eze chance. Fair enough. You score, it's a different kind of game. You could say the same with Chelsea. There's a reality where either Timber or Gyokeres scores, we nick it. But it feels like we never gamble. Now, granted, we could throw our whole hand in. They go down the other end and score, and, we'll hold that. But I think many Arsenal fans are at that point where, Gaffer, if it doesn't work in that game, it might work in the next one. And that's the annoying thing, because between Newcastle to Sunderland, especially Newcastle away, I did see all the things we're critical right now. I did think Arteta was doing them in it, and it does feel like we've gone back to type for whatever reason. But we're gonna have to progress and get on with it, man. Initially we did see Kai Havertz and Magalhaes are progressing. Jess, we got to discuss my man in it. Like, I know you've probably spoken forever about this individual on your YouTube channel. I most defo have. I am so happy to say I'm gonna leave this to you. Talk to me about Gyokeres, man. There's 2 questions. Is it Gyokeres' fault? Is it the
Okay.
gaffer? Where are we
I'm
at with Donny?
I have a lot of thoughts about this, and I've
I'm
sat
happy
with
because
it
I
for
got
a
none.
couple of days too, because it's like, here's my thing with the Gyökeres situation. Before I even get into what I actually think is happening, I need to say
Take the
that I
floor.
feel like this is the most shameless fan base I've ever seen,
A
because
million percent.
when Kai was struggling, he was getting ripped up one side down the other. He was just
I
a
can't lie.
bum
Kai first
and a
6 months, he was
loser.
getting
No,
excuses, man.
but I think it was justified, because he was not playing well. It took him all the way until like December, January to start really get going.
Took him
So it was
West Ham in the cup, I
justified.
think, and Newcastle away.
Yeah, nobody was like giving him any
Charity
like,
pens and shit.
oh, no, no, no. It was just, and I'm talking about the particular people that I'm seeing do the exact opposite with Gyökeres are being so fake. Like, you guys are being
And they
so,
were gassing the Gyokeres before as
yeah,
well, more than
we need to
anyone,
give him time. It's everyone else's fault but his own, and his maybe lack of, let's just say, him not being at the level. That is the only thing that cannot be the reason. Because I am so sorry, as bad as we are at chance creation, as little
You
creativity,
now need to
as
force
shit
your
as
own luck.
Odegaard is, I'm so sorry, but Marino and Jesus and Kai all get chances. They all get chances in this team.
So what
They
are
have
you doing wrong?
chances that we can watch them scuff. I can watch Jesus kick it straight to the goalkeeper. I can watch Kai Havertz whiff it, because they've gotten into into chances, like they've gotten into the position. They've created those opportunities. He doesn't get those because he's not on in the same brain with this team.
Is it
And I
just
know
that though?
it's not just
Or
that,
there's some more
but
from Arteta that he needs
it
to do as well?
it's just our team is built around this false nine. I don't you don't Our team does not create for a traditional striker. And I also think there's too many crowd scenes. It's not enough space for him to run into as he's used to. And unfortunately, the center backs are bullying the fuck out of him. And
But when I said he was too nice, people had issues, brother.
he's getting bullied.
Gyokeres, I'm not gonna lie. At this point, you need to make your own luck. Haaland is similar striker to you. Obviously, Haaland's better. I've seen Mateta bag. I've seen Chris Wood. There's bullies in this league that bully, man. Yes, we need to create. And again, we spoke at the beginning. Arteta's got some attacking issues based on last season going into this. There's been injuries. There's been all these things. I don't feel there's a lack of balance with Gyokeres. It's either all his fault or the manager's fault. But I make just right. I'm at that point now, brother. You need to do things quicker in
Yeah,
it, like
do
especially that
something.
Wolves game. It needs to be quicker. I'm not
It
writing you off, but it does need to be quicker. Arteta fix up, Gyokeres fix up. Don't want to hear if he's your first choice target or not, because somebody signed off, including yourself, on bringing him. Gyokeres, I've got sympathies for you, but you knew what time it was. Arteta's clearly explained what a forward is. You know about this league. You are adapting. You lot figure it out. You're big enough, old enough, ugly enough. That's all I
yeah.
got to say, just man.
I don't really like get the protection of it. And this is coming from somebody that wanted him at the club and already sat back and was like, I was probably wrong about this. Like, he's not, to me, I'm watching somebody that's just not locked into the same thought process as us. And unfortunately, because we're in a position where we have to win while we're having these players adapt, it's really hard for me to see how we're going to switch up our system again to try to get him into positions when, Kai, you gonna come back, Jesus, just play them,
Marino.
because naturally it's so bad to say this, but even in the Bruges game, I know that the game was pretty much over, but Jesus played for 10 minutes and it just worked. It was so everybody just knew what to do. And we kind of need that. We don't have time to make him work. He needed to hit the ground running. We gave him
And
enough time. I don't know. I just I don't see Arteta changing things enough. I don't see the league lessening its grip on him enough for him to get it going. I don't know,
do
but
you
the
know what it is for me,
shamelessness
Jess?
is crazy to me.
Do you
He
know what it
hasn't
is?
been good enough.
He hasn't been good enough. He definitely hasn't been good enough, yeah. But I remember saying to you, yeah, one thing I liked about him is the ugly goals. It's so ugly, it's beautiful. We're buying a bulldozer. I don't care for Gyokeres' technical level. Everyone's talking about his first touch and that. Newsflash, at 27 years of age, if your first touch is dead now, it's forever going to be dead. And we think we know Gyokeres. Them man was scouting him. Make no mistake. Even if Sesko for 2 years was our first choice target, Gyokeres, Isaac, half of these guys, they must have been on some scouting list and we're watching him and all these things. Where I looked at him, I look at the same way with Haaland. Obviously, Haaland is way better than you. You got no supply line for this guy. It's ineffective. But I'm not even saying that as a cop-out for him. You score ugly goals. All your goals typically come inside the box. Supply this man with creativity. And it's not even just a Gyökeres thing. Everyone needs to create more. People are talking about we need to get Eze and Odegaard on fire, which is true. But if one man is creating, we're going to be in issues, because what if they have a bad day? I don't want to go back to Zinchenko's first season where we're like, oh, we can't create because there's a left back. There's a left back. We ain't got our left back. We need creativity in abundance. And I'm looking at our creative attack. If Arteta finds a way, and I can't tell you what changes, I'd love to know what you think clicks. If we start looking like a half-decent team, we're breaking down low blocks, we're moving the ball faster, all these attackers look better. Whether Gyokeres gets 10 goals, 15, 20, Saka does this and that, that's where I'm at. Like, correct. I do feel we're looking at this man, and I do think he's doing all the other stuff, but you're not going to be a false nine. So find that balance where we're just looking like more of a threat in their box, in it. Then Gyokeres, you need to. The only time I'll fully give up on Gyokeres for me is when I start seeing you're missing clear-cut chances. But I need you to force it. I'm at the point, I'd rather you bang it. And if it goes into Finsbury Park or Rose Ed or the North Bank, that's like, it is what it is. Yeah. So it's a twofold question, man. Twofold solution, sir.
Because with people, that the false nine thing is, I get it, that you can't force him to play like a false nine. And that's not even what I'm asking him to do. But Merino doesn't really play like a false nine like Jesus or Kai does. He does the striker shit. He gets on the end of those crosses. That ball that went across, that Saka put across, Merino gets his fucking toe on it.
He uses this.
Yeah, and that's, I don't want to say that Gyökeres is not smart, but I'm wondering if the footballing IQ is up there. He's wondering.
Off the pace. Yeah, it probably is. There's a lot to adapt to, but he's just off the pace. Like the thing we referred to a few moments ago, with Saka put that ball in against Wolves. If you probably run into the box at the same time you did in Portugal, you probably score. But the Prem, everything's got to be quicker. Man are stronger. And yeah, you're in your adaptation period. But there's a lot of controllables he needs to control and do better. Because now I look at Gyokeres, I get it. One thing that's gone against you is the Arsenal tax. You know, João Pedro and Isaac are hardly doing well. We wanted a talismanic figure. We all know what led to your move and how much we wanted a striker and the whole debate around strikers. And you've grabbed the number 14. But honestly, Jess, at this moment in time, I won't write him off a couple months into a 5-year contract. You're just another tool in the basket, kind of what I said, unless your name is Rice and them, man. Like, if I do think you're working hard and all that kind of jazz, but if you're doing that, Merino does that, Kai does that, Jesus does it. So we got 4 men that for this season, it's whatever the weather, in it. Like, if it's sunny, Gyokeres might go out there. If it's a technical game, Kai or Merino. I just look at you as a kind of spare part. I just look at you as someone that brings others into play. They kind of use. I would say sometimes when you come off the pitch, it feels like teams start attacking. But you should be doing all of this anyways, plus scoring. Like, what needs to change for our attack to click? Is it man need to get fit? People need to get fit, and our attack needs to put the handbrake down. Like, what is it for you? Obviously, you're not a coach, neither am I. But like,
I don't know.
Could it be? I don't know either.
I don't know. It's been a couple of years now where there's just been something missing from the attack. No matter how you can tell me that we scoring all these goals and all this kind of stuff, I'm seeing it with my own 2 eyes. My eyes are telling me that there's something missing with this Arsenal attack. I think it's a little bit of inevitability is not there. To me, there's no chemistry. Like, people don't know what the next person is going to do. And there's a lack of, like, I'm just going to do it myself. And sometimes I feel like there's a lack of genuine quality, meaning like the passes are not slick. The crosses are aimless. The shots are shit, you know? So I don't know. 100%. But I've been asking for this for a couple of years. I don't know what it's going to take, but the attack genuinely has not clicked since, like, and when I say click,
Jesus in his debut year.
Well, I would say the back end of 23-24 was the last time that I felt like when we were just killing team 6-5.
I hear it, but you know what? You're right, yeah. But for me, that was more, I praised our mentality. We're just getting the job done type of thing. But you're right. And it definitely was more attacking, like, more attacking than this.
Yeah. The Chelsea game at home. Like, there were individual moments of like Odegaard passing that ball to Kai Havertz. That's an individual moment of like talent and quality. That's all I'm saying. And I haven't really seen that since then, where everybody is just taking their shots and putting their chances away and lots of quality and playing quickly. And the midfield feels like it's played together for a long time. The attack feels like it's played with each other for a long time. And all of that just came after one period of time, like after Dubai. So I don't really know what's
God knows
happened
what
to
they
us
were doing
since
in
then.
Dubai, man, but they might have to go
Yeah.
back over there.
But hasn't it kind of just felt like we've just been getting the job done more than
This
anything?
year,
I feel like last year, if we won, it was like we got it done. We got it done. We won. It wasn't pretty. How many times have we said it's not pretty? I don't know when they're going to start clicking, but I need to see something. And I need maybe
sooner rather
Arteta
than later.
to maybe work. I've seen somebody say that maybe we should try, getting our two best, or maybe getting Saka and Madueke on the pitch at the same time. But people are really reluctant for Saka to play on the other side. I don't know what it's going to take, but we need to do something.
I don't know why Arteta doesn't switch them. Like wingers
It's
don't
not
switch
a
because
big deal to me.
for me, I just
Saka
want my
can play
wingers to switch.
anywhere.
I
Yeah,
want my wingers to switch, and
I
Saka
play
gets in
Saka
those
in the
goal
10.
scoring areas on the left as well.
Yeah, I'd play Saka anywhere. I'd play him in the 10. I don't care because I think he'd be good anywhere. So when I say
You're one of them.
no, what I'm saying when I'm saying I'd play him in the 10 is that I wouldn't be
You're just
concerned
floating
about him
centrally.
playing anywhere because I know he'd make an impact. I know he would. I don't think putting him on the left means that all of his quality would just disintegrate where you see a distinct difference between Madueke. But don't you want somebody like Madueke out there on the pitch?
I want them to switch, Jess. And you know what? Yeah, I understand Mikel Arteta's got his own way of doing things and stuff like that. Yeah, but just as someone that wants Arsenal to do well, I look at Luis Enrique, I look at Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola's won with no strikers, with a false nine, and at this moment in time, Haaland, which on paper Haaland is not a Pep Guardiola striker, he's found a way to make it work beyond the obvious quality, more questioning his own tactics. I've seen Luis Enrique find that balance with making an X-Man play as a false nine in Dembele, which we've obviously seen Arteta do. Have a backup striker in Ramos, which could be Gyokeres, and is that seeing wingers swap while still maintaining that defensive structure. I do think Arteta's got to go to war with himself to get into a different kind of scenario. That's
He needs
kind of
to
what I
break
mean
through.
by Gyokeres just might be a squad player. It might be your team. We might just because I'm not on persisting with this for another season if it don't bang. I'm on signing the next striker. Gyokeres, you're part of the squad. You, Marino, Kai Havertz, you lot do your thing, and we just keep it moving. But
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
What is this? His touches?
Yeah, he's
It's
open play. He's
yeah.
open play touches. I just wanted to draw your attention to this because for me, and I know Arteta and Berta and these men are not stupid, and I know he has to do all the other play, but it just reflects Gyokeres is only going to come alive in that penalty box. So it's like nobody can. I don't care if he's an Arsenal striker or not. Beyond the obvious, you man saw the good, the bad, the ugly, and for whatever reason, you still sanctioned it. So you must believe it can work. Bearing in mind, me and you just. I guess we could if we want, but we're not. We ain't been watching all them sporting games, all them Coventry games. We ain't got access to them analytical softwares and that. These man have. So you've got to make it work. The man's 27. This shouldn't be the case.
He needs to touch. I think the problem is he can't get into the positions where we would pass it to him, and the
And when he
positions
does, we
that
don't
he makes
find him.
up, we don't pass it to him there. So either they need to pass it to him when he makes those runs, which they never do, or they need to play somebody in that position who we feel comfortable passing it to in the way that we play now. And the blocks are just going to get deeper as the season progresses. The deep blocks, they're just going to get deeper as people find joy and points getting taken off of us because they're doing it. It's just going to happen more and more. So I don't see an opening for Gyökeres to get that space that he's looking for. So I'm in the mind of playing somebody else there, and maybe taking the pressure off of him a little bit, playing him in Champions League where there's more space and
Club Bridge said no.
yeah, but from my perspective, I'm a little bit like abort mission, but that's also because somebody else is available, so
Collective comes first, man.
yeah,
What do you make of Kai Havertz and Kai Havertz and Gyokeres playing together? Like, could that work?
I
Either
don't know.
both up front, maybe Kai in Odegaard's role for theory. You could even throw a Gabriel Jesus or a Trossard. You suddenly got some connections. As you said earlier, we know what Saka's on. Like, because that would be my last hope. Kai might have to do something with Gyokeres.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I'm reaching with this.
Yeah, I feel like the experiments that I'd like to see don't really involve I think because this is going to sound so bad, but I'm already in the mindset that we need to kind of just move into a different direction. The experiments that I want to see are more with the wingers, trying to figure out how to get Saka and Madueke on the pitch at the same time, trying to figure out how to get the most out of Eze in that 10. And, I want to see I want to see, Saka and Madueke and Jesus and Eze play in the front four together and see how that looks. I want to see the ballers play. Like, I'm a little bit like, we need to get the
Even if it
Mavericks
means
out
dropping
there.
Odegaard.
Well, Odegaard is still getting up to speed, so right now I feel like Eze is starting still, and he should. And eventually, like, we have room for both of them to kind of like play that position. But I would like to see it. I want to see something else. I want to see the ballers ball. Like, I'm very like
Arteta has
Gyökeres
to
for
want them to
me.
ball out, man.
Yeah, it's tough, but that's kind of where I'm at. I feel like if you just put Jesus or Kai in there, things will just naturally get better. Just remove the big guy up front. I mean, how interested are you in seeing us trying to figure out a way to get him going? Because I feel like we spent the first part of the season doing that.
If your name is not obviously the first part of the season, yeah, the luxury is, unfortunately, because of the injury, he never had a preseason. He got an extended run. Kai probably would have remained first choice. He would have got his minutes as he lived in it. For me, you've got to make it work. I genuinely feel if Arteta just fixes the collective attacking issues, the man them are going to shine. Not just Gyokeres, I'm speaking for the whole collective. For me, the collective comes first in it. Like, I just want my 3 points. Like, I want my 3 points. Right now, Gyokeres, you haven't shown me you're the talisman, you're the number one. You've shown me you've got some qualities that help the collective. You don't shine individually. So if Marino goes up there, if Kai goes up there, I don't really care in it because everybody's feelings are to the side. Unless your name is that group of people I said. If you're a Calafiori or a Trossard where you've made your position undroppable, Bob is your uncle with Gyokeres, isn't it? I just want the creativity to start flowing. Who do you start against Everton, man? Because you're someone good to ask. Like, do you go with Gyokeres? Is it a Marino thing? I don't know how you are with it, but some are saying, you know what, Jesus. Some are even still running the Martinelli up front thing.
I mean, I'm gonna start Jesus. I would personally start Jesus against Crystal Palace. So I already know that Moyes is gonna come up with a smelly block. And I feel like that's
what time it is over there.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, we already know Gyokeres is gonna struggle. So maybe just go with Marino up front and then play Jesus against Crystal Palace. That's how over it I am. I'm just over it. I need us to get results. I need to feel like we're playing better football. And that doesn't really include Gyokeres right now. So as bad as that sounds, probably put Marino up top, knowing that I'm gonna get it, maybe a set piece. If we get a set piece, he's somebody that can get up and put the ball in the back of the net. I would play Saka and whoever is available on the left, but like ultimately, like Arteta needs to figure out a way to get Saka and Madueke.
You know what the mad one is for me, Jess? I think if you start Gyokeres, Marino comes off the bench and scores. I think if you start Marino, Gyokeres comes off the bench and scores. I think the starting striker is not going to get any real joy. I think he's going to go with Marino. Honestly, I don't really care who goes up front. A part of me wants to go with Marino because he's in a better